Welcome to page 13. On this page, two of our main characters are riding horseback through a city, so I have to draw kind of a crowd to make it look busy. As you can tell by my thumbnails here, my original plan was I was going for like a Wes Anderson kind of balanced composition, but I chickened out and ended up placing the horseback riders into the left third to better balance it, to make it more interesting. As is my normal process, I did the pencils and inks on paper and then I scan them into the computer and then I do my colors on a Cintiq using Photoshop. Here I'm using a watercolor brush to kind of paint in the beginnings of a background. Most of this is going to get covered, but I'm going to use it because this is going to be a nighttime scene, so I'm going to make it kind of dark. And I'm going to make these dark silhouettes in the background to add more people. Drawing crowds is kind of monotonous, so you have to think of ways to motivate yourself when you're doing it. So I would like to put friends of mine in the crowd. So if you're a friend of mine, look in the crowd shots, you might find yourself in there. In my last video, I talked about how I don't use flats or I don't do flatting. Well, that's all going to change in this video. I figured out a new way to draw this armor concept that I have, and how I do it, how I'm going to do it going forward is I make a little flat of all the rectangles, and then I'll use that for selecting, and I will create highlights and lowlights based on that selection. And so this is that process right here. The brush I'm using is just a standard hard round brush that comes default with Photoshop. Now I'm moving on to the face. No flatting in the face, I just go right into it. And this character has gray hair, so I'll give it gray hair. Again, same technique here. Bonus points if you know who I've modeled this character after. In French compositions, or French paintings where they have crowds, I should say, they have a thing that's called the witness. And that's where everybody in the crowd is either looking left or right, but there'll be one person in the crowd looking at the camera, and they call that person the witness. And this lovely lady here is my witness. Again, when you're drawing crowds, you have to find a way to motivate yourself and make it fun for you. And this is just another one of the things that makes it fun. It's placing a witness into the crowd, or in the future, because I have a lot of crowds going in this book, a lot of crowd scenes. I'm going to have to find a way to, maybe I'll put some Easter eggs in there or something like that. A long time ago, I used to do email campaigns for an ad agency. And one of my friends that worked with me was named Don. And I would put him in every single one of the campaigns. We used to have a thing, find the Don. So I think I'm going to do something similar to that in this book. So look for yourself in my book when it comes out. And here I'm going through again with the hard round brush, just brushing in areas. I don't want these characters to gather too much of the attention. The attention should be on the two horseback riders, but still want to put a decent amount of detail on them. And so if you're new to the channel, this is my first ever graphic novel, my first ever attempt at a graphic novel. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I just never have gotten around to it. I've been busy raising a family or making money. So now's the time. And I'm doing this in my spare time, and I'm going to document the whole thing on video for you guys and for myself. Documenting it like this is a way to not only motivate me, but keep me accountable for progress that I make. Like I said, this is page 13. I'm going to try to do a video for every page. Not for the whole page, but for like one panel of every page at least. That's the plan anyway. One of the great artists of the old days, in comic book art I should say, is Wally Wood, and he always had this this saying: don't draw what you can copy, don't copy what you can trace, don't trace what you can cut out and paste up. And this is an example of that for me. Is I drew this horse, and I used it on like page 8 or so. And if you look closely, I'm reusing this horse twice in this panel. So that's my ode to Wally Wood right there. Copy and pasting this horse. I'm sure I'll use this horse again in the book at some point. It's a time-saving tip from Wally Wood. Of course, I'm just copying and pasting the inked artwork and then giving them separate coloring so that they are the same, but they don't look exactly the same. You can kind of tell here that I scanned in this artwork because the blacks in this girl's hair are a little bit lighter than the blacks in the horse. That's because I scanned it in as a grayscale JPEG instead of a line art TIFF. No real reason I did that. I just when I looked at it, I thought the grayscale looked better. And when I'm done coloring it, it won't matter anyway. And like I said, this is going to be a nighttime scene, and hopefully she will fade into the background and not be much of a distraction from the two main characters in this panel. If you want to be in a future scene, let me know. I'm always looking for somebody to do some modeling for me. It helps a great deal. Unfortunately, I cannot pay you for that. So I finished the skin tones on all the crowd people, and now I'm moving on to their clothes. Putting in shadows, and here I'm putting the wrinkles in her clothes, in her skirt. And giving her a pair of cute boots. I'm not using any reference for the outfits that they're wearing. I just kind of made it up as I went along. Maybe it looks kind of Renaissance fair like to me. So that's how I drew her. Him, I have no idea. This is this is a businessman of the world that I'm building here. I guess that's what a businessman looks like. And I'll put the wrinkles in his shirt. And then I'll move on to the other guy. And in the interest of brevity, I am going to color the background, or I'm going to draw the background in, but not in this video. I'm just going to drop it in right behind these guys. And there's one other technique that I want to show for nighttime, for the nighttime scene. And this technique is, I'm going to take a layer of blue, a gradient layer of blue over the top, and then I'm going to blend it in. I think for this one it's a linear blend, and it's going to give it a nice blue overlay. Yeah, there you see it. And then what I'll do is I'll add a layer mask and mask out a little bit of the sections where the two main characters are, so they kind of pop off the page. Here I'm kind of messing with the different blending layers, the blending modes, to see which one looks the best. Pretty sure linear is what I ended up with. And then now I'm adding the layer mask. And that should finish it. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching me do page 13, and hopefully you'll stick around for the next video on page 14. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.